Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Kiowa, and Sugaree peoples, and we honor them. My name is Robin Mara, and I'll be service assistant for the Reverend Dr. Amy Rio this morning. We are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation, which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all of our visitors and members, we're very glad you're here, whether in person or joining us online, and we hope to see you again. Your presence is a gift to us. To begin this morning's announcements, I'd like to invite Jack Smith up. He's one of our newest members and a leader of our social justice team, and he's going to share some important information with us.
Thank you, Robin. Good morning. Again, I'm Jack Smith, and we're really honored to have with us this morning Joshua Jernigan to give us more understanding of this issue that's increasingly used, unfortunately, in hate speech and actions in our country. And it just happened that on Friday, Linda and I were listening to the UU Justice Action Hour, North Carolina Action Hour, and we heard during this hour about a bill that could be voted on by the full Senate at any time. And that we thought then, well, this really relates to our service today, so let's see what we can do about it. The bill would prevent trans girls in North Carolina from participating in girl interscholastic athletics. The basis for this ban has absolutely no scientific facts, no scientific basis, but as we all understand, this would do serious mental health damage to the girls in our community. So, after the service, you'll get a chance to use this increased understanding that we're going to gain and use it to take some action to make a difference to these girls in our community. Linda is back there, will have a script to make it easy for you. And this was developed by the UU Justice North Carolina. And it'll be all you need to write an email or make a call to your senator, to your state senator, to say, to ask them to oppose this terrible, discriminatory, and harmful bill. So when you see us at coffee, please take one of these handouts and go right home and take some action this afternoon. Thanks.
We also want to remind you all that we will have a booth at Salisbury Pride this Saturday, June 24th, in Salisbury, and we ask you to check your email announcements, your order of service to help out. You can sign up to help at the booth, or you can just drop by the booth. Other announcements are our summer solstice event will be 1 week from today at 2 o'clock out here on the patio, and everyone's invited to that. For other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service, or if you're on our email list, please check our monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
The words for our chalice lighting this morning come from Lori Gorgas Laban in observance of Pride Month. We light our chalice flame for those who lived their lives in closets of shame, for those who furtively visited the bars where nobody knew your name, for the Stonewall riot and the fierce trans women who fought, for the plague which still takes far too many, too young, too soon. So many gone, so many never lived to see out gay kids singing on TV, out gay people serving in the military, marriage equality, families formed by intention. We light our chalice flame for all these and for all our siblings of the rainbow, surviving, living life out in the open with pride. Please join me now in singing the words to lighting our chalice, the symbol of our faith. I invite you now to please stand as you are willing or able for our call to worship. We speak so often of brokenness in religious life. Let's speak today of wholeness.
You are welcome here, all of you, every part of you, beautiful just the way you are. Here you do not need to be something more or something less.
No holding back, no hiding, no exerting yourself, no trying to do more or be more.
You have inherent worth and dignity. Nothing to prove here, nothing to prove to me or the person
You don't have to try and be witty or more quiet or more outgoing. You are beautiful. Every part of you beautiful just the way you are.
You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. Your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful just the way they are.
You are extraordinary. Each and every one of you different from each and beautiful in your own beautiful way, breathtaking. Let us now worship together. We will now sing our opening hymn, number 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness. It's found in your Till hymnal. Please be seated. Now, Miss Becky is going to come forward and lead our time for all ages. So we invite any young ones who are with us to please come forward.
Okay, I have two young ones right here. I'm going to scoot closer to you so you don't have to sit on the floor, okay? Unless you want to come sit on the floor. No? I'll scoot back then. Okay, it's June. We have so much to celebrate in June. Anybody want to call out one thing we celebrate? Juneteenth. Juneteenth, yeah! That's tomorrow. Anything? Father's Day, which is today. Anything else? Summer solstice. Lachlan, what did you celebrate a few weeks ago when you no longer had to get on a bus and go to? School's out. Yeah. And wait a minute, who said pride? Connie said pride. Yes, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And we have an amazing book here. This book is by Gail E. Pittman, illustrated by Christina Litton. It's called This Day in June. Anybody want to hold the book for me? Elizabeth? Lachlan? Cosette? Thank you, Cosette. Thank you. Because I can't figure out how to hold it up and hold this microphone and speak in it so that everybody can hear me. So, and the pictures are really beautiful. So, this day in June, parade starts soon. Rainbow arches, joyful marches. Motors roaring, spirits soaring. Voices chanting, doggies panting. See, they're at the Pride Parade. clad in leather, perfect weather. Now, in Charlotte, we have our Pride Parade in August. I don't know about perfect weather, especially in leather. It can get kind of hot, but it's pretty awesome anyway. Artists painting, sisters sainting. I love seeing the sisters in their makeup and their outfits and their fans. Have you seen what they do with their fans? It's amazing. Banners swaying, children playing. Do you see the sign here? Can you read it for me? No? Okay. Love, not hate. We have a stoic audience. Dancers jumping, music pumping. One of my favorite things about Pride is all the sounds. Yes. Sidewalk shaking, tummies aching. Painted ladies, crying babies. There's a lot going on at Pride. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. I understand babies. Fancy dresses, flowing tresses. Love all the outfits that we see at Pride. Loving kisses, so delicious. All invited, all excited. So all the feet marching. This day in June, we're all united.
Amen.
And that ends our story for all ages. Thank you so much, Cosette, for your assistance. So, are you guys going to stay in here? No? Okay, I'm going to walk them over to the nursery.
Thank you so much, Becky. So at this time, we enter into a period for our ritual and sacred sharing, where we share our joys and sorrows and our concerns and milestones. This week, we light a candle in observance of Pride Month and showing and feeling love for all people. In observance of Juneteenth tomorrow, for Eileen's husband, who's been in the hospital, for Vanessa's cousin, who's had some great improvement in recent days, and for her continued recovery. For the ongoing struggle for civil rights in Iran. For all areas of violence around the globe, especially Sudan and the war in Ukraine. Now, at this time, you are welcome to come forward, and you may fill out a prayer card to place on the prayer wall, or you may light a candle or drop a stone in our shared water. So we invite you to please come forward. We now light a few more candles for the things we hold in our hearts which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. I invite us now into a time of quiet rest, meditation, or prayer. We will follow the sound of the singing bowl into the silence, and after a period of silent meditation, Anne will lead us with our musical meditation.
Today's wisdom reading is How to Discuss the Truth by Mark Bellatini, a UU minister. How to discuss the truth that some men love men, and some women, women, and some both, with the children in the church and church home, nonchalantly, without drum rolls, without tiptoe preparations, without calculating and predicting to the nth degree, with candor, with open ears, with unfailing tenderness, with one foot in the realm of God and the other foot on that solid earth made of the ashes of Radcliffe Hall, Auden, Da Vinci, Emma Goldman, Susan B. Anthony, and Mark DeWolf. With real hope in our purpose and thanksgiving in our pulse, with the full iris of our living tradition in the eye, without using the inherited Augustinian scalpel that splits flesh from spirit and pleasure from good. Without homilies on toleration. With the words, some of us, and not the words, them and they. With as much heart as intellect, without embarrassment. With stories and examples as wonderful as Dr. Seuss. With rhapsodies on the glories of friendship. With gladness for uncertainties. With joy.
In observance of Pride this month, we have a guest speaker today, Joshua Jernigan, pronouns he, him, his. Joshua is a transgender rights activist and philanthropist living in the greater Charlotte area, where he and his husband are raising their children together. And we're very glad to have them here with us today. Joshua started the Gender Education Network, an organization helping transgender and gender diverse youth ages 12 and younger. He is passionate about ensuring that every child has a safe and loving home to nurture their growing identities. He is also passionate about accurate LGBTQ+ history and teaches courses on queer history virtually. Most recently, he published his first children's book, Meet My Best Friend, the first in a series of books about getting to know our trans loved ones. Now, Joshua has worked closely with our own Becky Schisler over the years, and we are very excited to welcome Joshua and his family to our church for this special Sunday service. So, Joshua, we welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you all for the warm welcome that we have received since we came here. As Amy said, my name is Joshua Jernigan. I am the founder of Gender Education Network. We specifically say that we work with trans kids, which is interesting that you chose youth when you introduced me, because we don't shy away from the fact that we work with kids. Our kids are the ones who are currently under attack, as you're talking about with the trans bills that are going into place. Our kids are currently the ones who need recognition, and the fact that we work specifically with kids is very important to us over at Gen. I was asked today to come and speak with you all about self-care while doing the work that you can do and the work that I do, which is advocating, being an activist, being out there in the public eye and making sure that everybody sees you and knows who you are and knows what you're doing. So the work that I do mostly gives way to a lot of self-burnout. I am constantly tired. My husband can attest to that. My children can attest to that. We currently have 3 kids, 2, 3, and turns 8 today. So if you see the one who was sitting up here in the yellow dress, today's her birthday, so please wish her a happy birthday. She is so excited. She's been screaming it all morning. But with the work that I do and being out there and having a family and running an organization and writing children's books and teaching classes, one of the biggest things that I have learned is that you have to find time to take care of yourself. You have to find time to support yourself and everything that you're doing. Now, I was talking to my own therapist about this speech that I was giving, and she looked at me and she said, I need you to tell everybody in that congregation that you are woefully unprepared to give this speech. So, just to make her happy, and so that way someone can say, yes, he did say that, I would like to let you know that my own therapist thinks that I am not qualified to stand up here and talk to you. But I am very much a do as I say, not as I do type of person. And again, my kids can attest to that. I think that the work that we do and the work that you all are stepping into doing and the work that I have heard and seen from some of the congregation is so important. And as we do that work, it's also important to remember to step back and take care of you. So how can we do that? How can you support yourself? Well, I gave you the first one, find a therapist. I am a huge advocate for your own mental health. I have seen multiple therapists over my life because I firmly believe that everybody needs a little help from somebody. Nobody can do this alone, and nobody can do this on their own. There are people out there that you can reach out to. And if you can't find somebody, there are networks of organizations that can help you find someone at the price point you can afford, even if that's $0, all the way up to being able to help fund and afford therapy for other people. So first things first, find someone to talk to. But the other thing is building your community. One of the things that we love about living here in the Charlotte area that we didn't get when we lived in Kentucky, which is where I'm from, is this sense of community. We now have a group of people that we can lean on and go to and say, I'm having a hard day. I'm having a day where I need to sit down and chat with somebody. Can that be you today? And sometimes they say yes, and sometimes they're like, no, I too have had a very hard day. Let's find someone else. And we do that too. And that's also part of taking care of yourself, is knowing when your Tupperware is full. Becky gave me that metaphor that your Tupperware is just at its limit. And I absolutely love it because it's something that makes sense. It's something that you can go, you know what? I'm busting out of my lid today. Today is not the day. So part of taking care of yourself is finding your group of people, finding your community, finding the people who understand the work that you're doing and understand how difficult that work can be. Working with transgender kids, we currently are facing so much from the legislature. We currently are facing a lot from outside organizations as well. There is not a day that goes by that I don't open my email account and there's some type of directed hate message at our organization, at me personally, at the way that my husband and I parent. There is always someone who's going to say something. So another way of making sure that you find that self-care in the work that you do when you are a public-facing person is knowing how to close your emails, knowing how to disconnect from your emails. This is where I struggle the most, is because I need to know what they're saying. I need to know what's out there. I need to know what's being said. But one of the best things I did was set up these lovely little inboxes. And certain email addresses just get shuttled right into that inbox. I don't even have to look at them. Some days, I'm feeling really good. I'll open them up and I'm like, oh, yep, I see those same 7 people. And some days I'm like, I am not even gonna touch that box. One of the big things with taking care of yourself is also stepping away. It's June, it's Pride Month. This is the busiest month of the year for LGBTQ organizations. It's also the month my husband and I are going on a 2-week vacation. Not only a 2-week vacation, we're going on a boat to Alaska. There will be no internet service. We did not pay for the Wi-Fi package. We did not pay for the upgrades of anything of that nature. Because the point is stepping away and stepping back and knowing that right now, even though this is the busiest month and this is the month where there's so much to do, it's important that we disconnect as a family and spend a little bit of time with our kids. It's amazing when you start to think in those terms how you can find time to give yourself the self-care that you need and support yourself. Disconnect, find your people to talk to, find the people that are out there that you know understand you. Now there's also a whole bunch of other fun little ways, journaling, meditation, those type of things everyone should be doing every day, whether you are a forward-facing activist or you're someone who just goes out into the public. There's people out there, just in case you didn't know. So finding those little moments of getting to be by yourself, but also filling your tank with your family. If you have a welcoming and loving family, and I know that not all of us are afforded that luxury, but your family doesn't just have to be the people who genetically share a link with you. Most of my family is chosen family that I have purposefully cultivated in order to find that piece of having family. So finding your family that you can go and have dinner at their house and hang out and there's no expectations at all of what you're going to do or how you're going to behave. Find that person who offers you their guest room while they take care of your kids. Find that person who can absolutely step outside and be like, I got this, you go, do something for you. That is all part of serving yourself and taking care of yourself. So yes, the work that I do is very, very intense, and it's very, very rewarding at the same time. But learning how to take care of myself and how to take care of the things that I need to take care of so that I can continue to do the work that I do has been equally as interesting as we've navigated. When we started Gender Education Network, my husband and I were naive. We had no clue what we were doing, and neither one of us have a business background. So not only did we jump both feet into starting a nonprofit organization towards some of the most marginalized individuals on the planet right now, it was also at a time where there weren't a whole lot of bills aimed at us. But now we wake up every day and it's like, what today is going to be on tap? So making sure you take a few minutes every morning to disconnect and a few minutes every evening to disconnect is also something that's really important in serving yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. I know that's such a cliche metaphor that everyone hears all the time. I'm here to tell you that realistically, it is the most truthful thing. When you hit empty, you can't show up for the people that you were supposed to show up for. You can't show up for the people that you were supposed to be there for. So taking care of you has to be as important as taking care of everybody else. Hopefully I was able to help you all find some ways to serve yourself in this wild world we're living in right now. And I just encourage everyone to take a minute and just step back and breathe. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Joshua. And I want to say I think you are the perfect person to come be with us today for a number of reasons. One, the vitally important work that you're doing in this community that we so desperately need. And I was thinking about my homiletics, which is a preaching professor in seminary, and he said the first person we should be preaching to is ourselves. So every message we give, it should be a message for ourselves. And I actually do that every Sunday too. I'm talking to myself. So we know that we're in a time period where there's a lot of hate and division, and we have organizations and groups which are trying to continue to sow that and to harm people in very dramatic ways in our society. And it's so important for us to continue to do this important work of showing and sowing love in this world, love for each and every person. And we have to take care of ourselves first, individually and collectively, so that we can continue to do this important work that is at the heart of who we are as a faith community. So thank you so much, and we look forward to continuing to help work with your organization and with you and your family in the months and years to come. Thank you. So at this time, we have our choir who will share a selection with us, so we look forward to that this morning. Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful musical piece for us today. You might recall that on the third Sunday of each month, we have a generosity moment where a member of our church comes forward and shares about what's important for them here at Piedmont UU Church and why they love being a part of this and generous with who they are. So this Sunday, one of our charter members, Sandra Woolsey, will come forward and will share with us. So Sandra, we welcome you.
Why do I always have to follow the good stuff? I remember when I was a little girl, I'd snuggle up to my mother and say, "Tell me another story about the olden days." I love to hear about the olden days, when she grew up in Iowa on a farm. So I'm just going to tell you briefly about something that happened when we were a very young congregation. We found out by the telephone communication that one of our families was expecting a baby. And we were so thrilled. Our first Piedmont baby. I think we were more thrilled than the mom was. Because the mom had left her teaching job and had just started back to it. They have two children. One was Adam and one was Katie. And the dad taught at Pfeiffer College, which is now Pfeiffer University, in Meisenheimer, which is where Pfeiffer is. And so we were so happy. We were so thrilled. And the minister of our church took an interest in everybody, and she was especially close to this couple. And she had taken a few days away for some R&R, but Quentin, the dad, called her when Annie started in labor, and she came right there to be with Annie and Quentin. And they welcomed this little baby boy. They named him Evan Griffey, and we were just thrilled. So some weeks went by, and after about 6 weeks, we heard some terrible news. Baby Evan had died during the night of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. And we were heartbroken. We didn't know what to do. And the minister said he worked with the family, and she said, we can pull together a nice little memorial service. And we were meeting at the Courthouse Theater in Concord. It was one of our many homes before we found this one. So we stood around chewing our nails and wringing our hands, and Linda Blum got up, and she was sort of our cheerleader, and she said, "Hey, we've got this. Let me talk to the Griffeys and see after the service if they would like us to come back to their house. We'll bring the dinner, we'll do everything, we'll just be there for them." And she said, "I'll bring the turkey, and we'll just put it right in the oven. Who can bring this, and who can bring that?" Then she pointed at me and she said, "You take care of the kids." I said, "Me?" And she said, "Yeah, they don't, after they eat, they don't need to sit inside with all these grown-ups. They had a lot of that in the last week. See that they go outside and find a couple of people in our congregation who will kind of be there for them when they're outside, so their parents won't have to worry about them." So now and then she found somebody else to write directions to the house and pass out the directions. So we went to the house, and Annie's parents came from Charleston, and we surrounded them with our friendship and our love. And the point is, what did we learn? Very younger congregation, what did we learn? We already knew how to form committees, and we're still really good at that. And we were good at trying to plan for the future. But what we learned, I think, is we learned how to step up, how to be there, how to offer our friendship and our love and nurture our congregation. And so, remember that.
Thank you, Sandra. So let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us. A community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. This month, we're sharing our offering plate with PFLAG of Salisbury, Rowan. Founded in 1973, after the simple act of a mother publicly supporting her gay son, PFLAG is the nation's largest family and ally organization. PFLAG is the first and largest organization for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ+ people, their parents and families, and allies. The Salisbury Rowan PFLAG chapter provides local programming and events in the Rowan County area, has awarded over $103,000 in scholarships, and hosts monthly support meetings. We ask that you place your gifts in the baskets as they make their way around the room, or you can wait and drop it into one of the baskets as you leave our space. And you're always welcome to give online at puuc.org or by texting PUUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
We give thanks for the generous gifts of all of our community, gifts of money, gifts of time, gifts of spirit, gifts of thought and energy. I invite you now to please stand as you're willing or able for our closing hymn found in your Till hymnal, number 1014, Answering the Call of Love. we extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many volunteers who've helped make our worship service possible, and especially for Joshua being here with us today. We ask that you will leave your hymnals back on the cart near the piano. And now let's take a few moments to give thanks, as we do each Sunday, either in our hearts or with words, for the things for which we are grateful today.
My best friend cat.
Cassette's best friend cat.
Pennsylvania cat.
Pennsylvania cat. Okay.
I like cat Sweeney too.
Yes, we need to, yes.
For all the fun I had visiting my granddaughter in Indiana and all the videos of the chickens that I lovingly will share.
Okay. So Connie had a great visit in Indiana and chicken videos. Okay. We look forward to those.
For our guest speakers.
For our guest speaker.
Amen. Music.
For music. For our choir.
For the support that we get in this church.
The support we get from this church. Yes.
And for a new organization that I would love to share called Campaign for Southern Equality that is deliberately helping trans youth trying to raise money to help people flee Florida.
Campaign for Southern Equality.
For fathers.
For fathers.
For our new grandniece who weighed in, Lizzie, who weighed in at 9 pounds and 9 ounces.
Wow. New grandniece Lizzie. 9 pounds, 9 ounces.
For medical miracles.
Yes, medical miracles.
Oh,
Yeah.
for this precious day.
For this precious day.
For the celebration of Juneteenth and honoring that.
Yes. Celebration of Juneteenth and honoring that. Well, we give thanks for all these things and other things for which we hold in our hearts today. Receive now this blessing. Let us go forth filled with love to share love to the entire world through our actions, our hands, our words, our deeds, and especially our hearts. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light, its warmth, and its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we wander. May it be so.